Right, we're going to cover lesson 136 in this, and this is a little bit strange. It's kind of tedious. Don't get bogged down in all the steps because there are some steps that repeat over and over and over. Don't get bogged down in it. Get a piece of paper and do every single one of these with me, and so that you have some notes to look at, number one. Number two, you're just practicing them with us because it's a little bit strange. Our normal steps for division are to divide, and I always do it like this when I first teach division to kids. So you divide out, that's an arrow, you multiply back down, then you subtract or change the sign of everything, and then you bring down. So we're going to do the same thing. Remember whatever is written first, or if this is written as a fraction, whatever's on top goes on the inside. And what's second goes on the outside. Oops, it's not 2x, it's 20x. Now, for the way that I always teach division to begin is we take our first piece and we divide it up. 20x divided by 4 is 5x. 20 divided by 4 is 5, and the x just stays. So step one, I divide out. Step two, I multiply in. 5 times 4, 5x times 4 is 20x. It's probably been 100 years since you've done long division. Step three, subtract. That's 0. Step 4, bring down. Don't forget that sign. That's a negative 16. And then we just do it all again. We are going to, of course, the 0 doesn't matter. So I really could just erase that 0. Divide up. Negative 16 times 4 is negative 4. Multiply in. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. Now, when we subtract a negative, it becomes a plus, and then we're left with 16. So my answer is 5x minus 4, which is not any simpler or any, well, it's just not, none of us really know what that means, right? That's why people hate algebra. But if you will take this one piece at a time, divide up, multiply down, subtract, bring down, one piece at a time, these are doable, okay? Let's try another one. So let's write this. Remember, whatever's first goes on the inside. 20x plus 50. By the way, I don't think I said this. This is lesson 65 in your textbook, and I'm actually working some of the classwork problems, but I've made up a couple more because I just wanted to. All right, let me draw this a little further. All right, step one, divide up. So 20x divided by 5. 20 divided by 4 is, nope, 20 divided by 5 is 4x. Second step, and I'll just do these in different colors. I'm not sure if it's going to help or not, but multiply down. So 4x times 5, 20x. Oops, let me change that color again. Step 3, subtract. That gives me 0. Step 4, bring down. I think there was a sentence in junior high or elementary school, actually, when you start. Does McDonald's serve burgers? There's other steps that some teachers use, but it's more confusing to me, so I just shortened it to that. Bring down my 50, and then I repeat. Divide up. Let me clean all these arrows up. This is making my brain confused. Okay, so divide up. 50 divided by 5 is positive 10. So make sure when you divide, whatever sign you get, that becomes your operation. So 50 divided by 5 is positive 10, so it becomes a plus. If it was negative 10, it would become a minus. Okay, so make sure that you understand that becomes your operation. Now we multiply down. 10 times 5 is 50. Now we subtract 0. When there's nothing left to bring down, I'm done. So this is my answer. All right, let's write this out. This one we're going to look at has a variable on the outside. Rules don't change. We're still going to divide out. However, you need to pay attention to your exponent rules. Remember, when you're dividing exponents, you subtract them. Whole numbers are whole numbers, or coefficients are coefficients. That rule doesn't change. We just subtract our exponents when we're dividing. When we're multiplying, we add our exponents. So when we are dividing, we subtract exponents. When we are multiplying, we add exponents. The numbers, coefficients, that rule doesn't change. So 9x squared, divided by 3x. Coefficients are numbers. Just do it. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Because we're dividing, we're going to subtract exponents. Do not lose, and it may help some of you guys to write your understood one in there. X squared divided by x1, subtract the exponents, it leaves me with x. So I've divided out. Now I'm going to multiply down. 3x times 3x. 3 times 3 is 9. X times x, add our understood ones, gives me x2. Now I subtract. 9x squared minus 9x squared is 0. If at this point you don't have a 0, you have messed up somewhere, okay? Then we're going to bring down, which is a 12. And then we just do it all again. 12 divided by, oh, I forgot to put my x here. 12x divided by 3x is positive 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. X divided by x. You subtract the exponents, and remember, a 0 exponent is 1. And in this case, I would have 4 times 1, which is just 4, so I don't even need to write it. It's just 4. Now I'm going to multiply down. I divide it up. 4 times 3x. 4 times 3 is 12. No x times x is x. Now we subtract, and it's 0. Nothing to bring down, so my answer is 3x plus 4. One more. This one has 3 terms on the inside, and the reality is you guys are going to work your way up to 2 terms on the outside, and then multiple terms on the inside. So let's just start right here. Rules don't change. Divide out. 2x3 divided by 2x. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Don't lose my understood 1 here. I'm going to go ahead and write my understood 1s in. I'm actually going to write my understood 1s even while I'm answering it. When I convert my answer to like my boxed in final answer, I'm going to not write the understood 1s. For me, it doesn't matter, but I'm assuming if you take an entrance exam or a computerized test, it will matter. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1. X3, x1 is x squared. Multiply down. 2x times 1x squared gives me 2x3. Add my exponent. So I divide it up, multiply down, subtract, bring down. I'll do the same thing. 4x squared minus, divided by 2x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. x2, x1, it gives me x1. Again, don't forget, whatever sign you get is your operation there, okay? Now I'm going to multiply down. 2x divided by 2x. It's not 0. Oh my gosh, I'm at the multiplication step. Ignore what I just said. 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. Add your exponents. Subtract. Now, before we only had to bring down once, but now we have more terms, so I've got to keep bringing down. And don't lose your sign. Okay? So 6x1 divided by 2x1. 6 divided by negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. x1 divided by x1 is x0, which is 1, so I don't need to write it. So I've divided up, multiplied down. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Now I'm going to subtract. Remember, if I subtract a negative, I get a plus, and that gives me 0. So my final answer is x squared, I don't need my understood 1, plus 2x, I don't need my understood 1, minus 3. All right, there you go. For homework, I want you to do number 2 on page 300. I believe there are 15 of these to do for this section. And if you get confused, let me know.